Hey, Star Mama. Hey, New Orleans lady. I just left the studio for a second. Hey, DG. To change the title of this live chat, I said, is it possible it was moving day? I think that's a better title. It still says calling all Bobs, and Shiners can join us too if they ever want to actually discuss the case. So, what do you think? Do you think it's possible that it was moving day? I think it is. I think it's possible. Hey, Sapphire. Maybe we could pick up kind of where we left off with this part of the discussion, because I actually think that marriage was already long over. I don't think he was cheating on her. I think they were already living, what do you call it, separated. I think by the time he picked up with his coworker, that marriage had already been over for at least 6 months, at least. That's a good point, New Orleans lady. Anything's possible with this case. Oh, hold on, I'm burning something on the stove. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to be chomping in your ear again. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Ray. Yeah, Ray, you couldn't hear anything because I just said I was burning something on the stove, so I'd be right back. So I'm back now. Star Mama says, I think 2017, January. I agree. And I kind of wonder if maybe December of 2016, if maybe Christopher Watts may have been part of what we were told when the hospital did some blood work and found out whatever, right? Maybe he was part of that. Maybe he was done. Hey, Mel. You know, I think that's true. I do. There have just been too many people. Hey, Red Shoes. There have just been too many people commenting and calling and emailing, and they all say the same thing. And I think it's interesting, you know, right out of the chute, there were threats going on, hate campaigns, harassment, bullying, downright criminal activity against people trying to control the narrative, right? They were trying to commit all their stupid crimes against people to frighten everybody into silence so they could control the narrative. Well, right from the start, there have been many people discussing this true crime case who have believed that Christopher Watts didn't kill anybody. But then all the attacks started against us, right? And let's be real, those attacks were ongoing day one. Like I always say, before some of us, including me, had ever even heard of this stupid case. Have you ever seen a true crime case where there are so many scumbag attackers in full action trying to control the narrative? No. The answer is no. Well, I guess then it would make sense, possibly, that the people who actually do know what the hell was going on probably are just kind of stepping back and going, whoa, maybe I don't need to be vocal about what I know. I'd like to hear from that hairstylist who it sounds like, won the lottery. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, sure. I'd like to hear from that nurse and get the true scoop. I'd like to hear from the daycare center. Wouldn't it be interesting to hear a little bit of the details about any of those, supposed medical diagnoses? Was any of it true? Yes, Sapphire. Wouldn't that be interesting to be able to speak with her first husband? Or maybe better yet, her first husband's wife. She might be more interesting to speak with. Or maybe her first mother-in-law to get the straight scoop. Or maybe a high school friend or a high school acquaintance. Maybe that one lady whose dad owned the restaurant where she worked when she was in high school. Maybe even Nate would be fun to speak with, you know what? The teacher interview was goofy, but you know what? I think the situation might have been goofy. Remember how he didn't even know her name? Isn't that weird? And then remember after he gave that interview, how certain people got very vocal and was like, he better just stop it. He doesn't even know her. Well, I bet he knows a lot. Oh, to answer the question, do I think Christopher Watts knew that his family was going to be killed? No, I don't. I think he knew that he and the girls were soon to be, I think he believed that he and the girls would soon be able to live in peace. And I think when he went to work that morning, that he was actually very happy that his marriage was almost over. I don't think he knew that the gates of hell would soon open. Right in his own house. Sapphire says, I think the entire R family are up to their ears in secrets. I don't even think they're secrets. I think that people are just, buying into the whole virtue signaling thing that the scumbag attacker channels have pulled. So I think people are just like afraid to talk about this case. Well, except for us. Star Mama says, I think the neighbor is a liar and tells big stories. Yeah, but wouldn't he be interesting to interview? It'd be just like when that justice guy hopped up on the panel. We could trip him up in 3 questions or less. Yay, Bella's off work tonight. Woohoo! Ray says, why did NK do so many interviews, hours and hours and hours and hours, for a week? I think you meant to say long. I just said Ah! I didn't know she did hours and hours and hours and hours. I do think she's really getting a bad rap, though. I think she contacted them. I don't think they contacted her first. I think she contacted them first. And people say how weird it was that she had her father with her in the interrogation room. I don't think that's weird at all. She wasn't a suspect of anything. She wasn't under arrest. She could have, stayed or not stayed. She had the right to have her dad there. Star Mama says, I would love to question FRJR. That would be a very interesting interview, wouldn't it? It'd be interesting to see if he used big words or not. Exactly, New Orleans lady. So would I. Hey, Salon Savvy. I think NA was appropriate every step of the way. I also don't think she was dating a married man. I think she was dating a man for a very short time frame whose marriage had been over for a long time already. Ray says, that's why I don't understand why she was always calling that policeman with more information. Just strange. Well, I imagine with that kind of a case, she was probably freaked out at first, Star Mama says it was a summer fling, my opinion. I agree with you, Star Mama. I don't think Christopher Watts or his coworker, either one of them, put as much faith or energy into that relationship as all the shiners have, that's for sure. Exactly, Ray. And remember, they both worked full time too. They both had solid careers going. So it's not like they sat around on Facebook all day. Trying to convince each other that they had, lupus or fibro or anything. The girlfriend actually had a job. She actually worked. Or I should say, worked. And you know what? I think Christopher Watts probably confided some things in her about some of what he had been through in that marriage. I think that might have been part of how she would have figured it was okay to still see him. I think it's hilarious when people say that she was jealous of Christopher Watts' wife. It's like, really? Where's that come from? Oh, that's right. The narrative that we're supposed to say, oh, is that what happened? I highly doubt the coworker was jealous at all of Christopher Watts' wife. Ray says, I'd take my dad as well if I was part of this madness. My dad would have been there probably before me. And he would have said, do not speak to my daughter until I'm in the room with her. He probably would have told me not to talk to the police. He probably would have said not to go in. But if I decided to go in, he would have been sitting right there saying, wait a minute. Why are you asking that question? What are you attempting to infer? I mean, when he went with me to the U-Haul place to return the U-Haul, I was on my toes. You know how the U-Haul place is always like charging more than what they quoted? Well, my dad went with me, to return the moving truck. And I got it for exactly what I was quoted. And I stood there thinking, a child will never be too old to be properly embarrassed by their parents' behavior. But, my dad had rented U-Haul trucks before and he knew how it worked. And I'm not picking on U-Haul. It's all of them. They quote you a really nice, cheap little price. And then when you take it back, it's like, oh, yeah, gee. It was, 88.2% full. So the gas that we needed to put in is at a rate of $500 a gallon. So, or, unlimited mileage. Well, that's only if there's a special formula on the third Tuesday of the full moon, Otherwise, you're actually paying $5 a mile. Sandy says, I'm late. I'm late. I'm late for, oops, I missed it. I'm late. I'm late. Well, that's not really right. I don't think we can do for a very, I'm not sure. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. Yeah, you can. You got it right, Sandy. I had it wrong because I was trying to do I'm late too many times. Sandy sounds like she was somebody who was into jump roping when she was young. Whoa. I promise you guys, I'll be right back. Hey guys, I need to take this call. I won't be long. I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast right now, and then I'll be back as soon as I get off the phone. I'll just start a whole new thingamajiggy. So I'm really sorry, you guys, but I'm going to take this call, and I'll be back shortly.